This story is from the Chippewa people, who were one of the tribes of Native Americans. And this story tells how they got corn, which was their main food. Once there was a man, and he was not a rich man, he was a poor man, but he was a good man, and he was a generous man, and he loved his family. He had a wife and several children. Sometimes they were hungry. When they couldn't get meat, couldn't get fish, and there was nothing else to eat, they would go hungry for a while and almost live on their love for each other. But then another time would come, and the hunting would be good and the fishing would be good. And so they lived through the years until the time came when the oldest son, whose name was Wunsch, was old enough to be a man. He was as strong as a man, as tall as a man, but he was still a child. The time had come for him to go on his spirit quest. And his father took him aside and explained. He says, "Son, you're still a child, and I have loved you as a child, but now it is time for me to love you as a man. So we will go to a distant place and we will build a shelter. And you must stay in that shelter for 1 week, 7 days. You stay there, no eating, no drinking, just thinking of the Great Spirit and of the world he made for us and of our place in that world. And what comes will come. And when you return, we will welcome you as a man." So Wunsch and his father went to a distant place, and they took branches from the trees and they built a shelter, and they cleared the ground so there's a place for him to sit, a place for him to lie when he was tired. And then with a heavy heart his father gave him a hug and said, "I will see you in 1 week, goodbye," and walked away. Well, for the first 2 days, Wunsch was able to walk about the forest and look at the plants and see how each has its own place. How does it know where to grow and how to grow? How some can be eaten and good for food, and some cannot be eaten and are not good for food. And he wondered it all. After 2 days, he was too hungry and too dry to walk about anymore. He just sat in that shelter and looked at the sky. As he looked at the sky, a young man dressed in yellow and green, with feathers in his hair that swayed in the wind, came descending as if from the sky. The young man said, "I am a friend, and a friend to your people. And if you follow my guide, I can allow you to do good for your people. But you must defeat me in a wrestling match." Wunsch was hungry, and he hadn't drunk for days, but he accepted the challenge and they set to wrestle. It seemed to Wunsch that they wrestled for a long time. He was weakened. But by digging deep and relying on his inner strength, finally he defeated the young man. And when he defeated him, he disappeared. The next day he came again. "I am your friend, a friend to your people. If you follow my guide, I can let you do good for your people, but you must defeat me." This happened on the 3rd day, on the 4th day, on the 5th day. On the 6th day, the young man came. "I am your friend and a friend to your people. If you follow my guide, I can help you do good for your people. But you must defeat me in a wrestling match." By now, our friend was very weak, but he pulled his strength together from who knows where, pulled it up from his boots, and they wrestled and wrestled, and again he won. And the young man said, "I will come just one more time. You must defeat me tomorrow. If you defeat me, you will see that I lie still, and you will think that I am dead, but I am not. Instead, you must prepare the ground, clear the ground in front of your shelter, and then soften the ground, and then lay me into the ground and cover me over, and then let me lie in peace, but come back every few days and don't allow any of the common plants to grow upon my grave. Instead, cover me with a little more soil if you see the mound is getting flat. And then he disappeared. The next day, the final day, he came back. Again they wrestled. It went on, it seemed to Wunsch like it come on for the longest time. It seemed to go on forever, and then only for an instant. He was sure he would lose. He had little strength left, but he called upon the Great Spirit and said, Great Spirit, please fill me with enough power to do this one thing. And with a move that came from deep inside him, he defeated the young man, and the young man lay still. So Wunsch prepared the ground in front of the shelter. He cleared the ground and he softened the ground, and he laid the young man in it, and then covered him over with soil to make a mound, and then waited. And his father came. He was pleased to see his father, and his father had brought some meat and some fruits, and that gave him some strength, and they returned to the house. He didn't tell anything. But every few days he would secretly come back to his shelter, and he would clear away any of the common plants and heap some soil if the mound had gone flat. And after 2 or 3 weeks he was rejoicing to see some straight green shoots coming straight out, and he watched them grow over the summer until, as the summer was ending, these were tall, straight plants. And then he called his father and he brought him to show, and he said, Father, this is our friend. This is a friend to all our people. And if there's a time when we cannot get meat or we cannot get fish, then our friend will feed us, because he is the spirit of the corn. And he plucked a stem and he gave it to his father. His father said, So, this is the result of your fast. The Great Spirit has seen your kindness and has seen your generosity and has seen your courage and has rewarded you. And before they ate the corn, they gave thanks to the Great Spirit. And that is how the Chippewa got the corn